Well, welcome back. House Oversight Republicans are demanding information on the role that the National Archives played in the FBI's raid on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Congressman James Comer writing this, quote, "The seeming weaponization of the federal government against President Biden's political rivals cannot go unchecked." He's also requesting the preservation of all documents and communications related to the raid and the warrant. Joining me right now is the man himself, Kentucky Congressman James Comer. He's the ranking member of the Oversight Committee and a member of the Education and Labor Committees. Congressman, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Good morning, Maria.
Are you asking for the preservation of documents because you are intending on investigating this situation if you take the majority?
Absolutely. You know, the National Archives is a sleepy government agency that comes before the Oversight Committee at least once a year. Oversight has policy jurisdiction over the National Archives, is, you know, basically a little organization that keeps all the historical records. And by all accounts, this subpoena was generated by the National Archives. This is something that's unprecedented. Remember, what they're saying is that the president may have kept classified information. But, Maria, the president of the United States determines what is and is not classified, and the president of the United States has the authority to declassify something that may have previously been classified. So if the National Archives generated this unprecedented FBI raid on the former president of the United States, we want to know all the communication between the National Archives and the FBI and between them and the Department of Justice.
You know, I mean, it seems that this continues to happen over and over again, Congressman, and I just wonder what your take is on this, because this is not the first time we are betting on bias and politics at the FBI. For 3 to 4 years, we had Jim Comey's FBI pursuing anything they could to take down Trump and secure and save Hillary Clinton. Loretta Lynch telling Jim Comey to call the email investigation a matter, not an investigation. That's exactly what he did. Pursuing FISA warrants to spy on Trump officials, even though they knew that the dossier was all made up. They knew that in January of 2017 when they interviewed Igor Danchenko. They sat on Hunter Biden's laptop while all of those other liars, the 51 liars, said that it was disinformation. And yet the President Trump at the time was being impeached for having a phone call with the head of Ukraine. Then I heard from Ted Cruz that there was entrapment likely around the Gretchen Whitmer investigation of her being kidnapped. That was entrapment. I haven't even discussed the entrapment around the Russia hoax, because I know for a fact Carter Page and George Papadopoulos told me that they were getting run into by FBI agents who were making believe they were somebody else, and they entrapped them into talking about Russia. So how come things like this keep happening and there's never any accountability?
Well, this proves something that Devin Nunes said many times on your show, Maria, and that is the deep state is real. This is further evidence of that. This is another black eye in our intelligence community. We, on the Oversight Committee, had already requested the information from the 51 former intelligence officials who said the laptop was a hoax. It looked like Russia disinformation, which we have possession of the laptop now. And I can assure you it's not a hoax. It is Hunter Biden's laptop. And there's a lot of bad stuff on there. The reason no one's held accountable primarily is because the Republicans are in the minority and that Merrick Garland's in charge of the Department of Justice. Hopefully in January, that's going to change. With subpoena power, we're going to be very transparent with the American people on all the wrongdoing and conflicts of interest and the weaponization from our intelligence community. So the FBI is going to be in the hot seat. Merrick Garland's going to be in the hot seat on Jim Jordan's Judiciary Committee. And hopefully we can hold people accountable and change the rules to where something like this never happens again.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, they even wanted to investigate parents. They called parents extremists as well. Senator Ted Cruz joined me on Sunday and pretty much summed it up. Here's what the senator from Texas said. Watch.
Unfortunately, one of the worst outcomes we've seen, both from the Barack Obama administration and now the Joe Biden administration, has been the deep politicization and weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI. They've turned the machinery of government and law enforcement into a weapon to attack their political enemies. And it is an incredible dereliction of duty for law enforcement to be entrapping people into criminal conduct for political ends. And this FBI, this Department of Justice, is content to remain thoroughly political and partisan, and it's deeply, deeply concerning.
So, Congressman, is this what we're about to see with the IRS as well? The House is set to vote on the Democrats' so-called Inflation Reduction Act tomorrow. And in it is $80 billion earmarked for the IRS so that they can hire 87,000 new agents. Why should we trust that they're going to do everything by the book when, in fact, we know how political this agency is as well?
That's a great point, Maria. We shouldn't trust the IRS, and the Republicans, and hopefully there are a moderate Democrat or two left in the House of Representatives that will vote against this and stop this from becoming law. But Ted Cruz is exactly right. The weaponization of our intelligence community has become a problem. You've got a situation now where the American people have as little confidence in the FBI as they do in Dr. Fauci and the Centers for Disease Control. This needs to change. The American people need to have confidence in the various government agencies that are important. The CDC is important. The FBI is important. But right now, Americans don't believe anything that's coming out of either agency. And this is something that Republicans are going to have to do. We can't just talk about it. We've got to actually do something about it. And that's something that I know Kevin McCarthy's taking very seriously in January.
Well, why should we believe it when the president says we've got zero inflation? We're getting another inflation report out right now. Let me get to Cheryl Casoni with the July Producer Price Index report. We're expecting 10.5% gain. Cheryl.
All right. So we're looking at actually weaker than expected. This kind of mirrors what we saw for CPI yesterday. This is Producer Price Index, PPI, year over year, the headline number coming in 9.8%, Maria, 9.8%. The expectation was for 10.4%. So this, again, is weaker than expected. Now, the year over year, the core number, which is really what the Fed looks like, and this is high interest for many investors, that came in as expected, 7.6%, 7.6% as far as the year-over-year number. Now looking for the month-over-month numbers right now as far as PPI goes. It actually looks like the final demand month-to-month was actually down 0.5%, down 0.5%. The expectation was a gain of 0.2%. But as you were talking about earlier, we talked about yesterday, that's energy prices. It has to be. There's no way that that's not energy prices right there. As far as if you break down into the report, processed goods, we actually saw a fall of 2.3%. Unprocessed goods, a fall of 12.4%. Again, excluding food and energy, a loss of 0.2%. So again, these numbers are very interesting, Maria, because again, it also reflects what we saw in CPI, but this is kind of the jump ahead of CPI. First, it's at the producer level, and then it comes in at the retail level. Excuse me. As far as the month-to-month gain, I want to reiterate down negative 0.5, and that is not what the street was looking for. We were looking for a gain of 0.2, and then that month-to-month number with the core number, that came in weaker than expected at 0.2%. So again, these numbers, Maria, are really showing a reflection that we are seeing a big change in the inflation story as far as CPI, which we did yesterday, and then again, PPI today. I'm looking in the release right now to see where the falls were, but I can already tell you right now, but I don't even need to read it, Maria. You probably wouldn't either. It would be, obviously, it has to do with energy. The July decrease can be traced to a 9% drop in prices for final demand energy. The indexes for final demand foods and for final demand goods, less food energy, rose 1% and 0.2% respectively. So again, this is where we're seeing the weakness in the producer price number, and that, of course, is the energy story. Fuels, lubricants, electricity, diesel, things like that, Maria. Also, we got claims crossing as well, and those coming in about in line with expectations. Maria, back to you.
All right, Cheryl, thanks so much. Core as well as overall PPI better than expected, pulling back this morning. Congressman James Comer is with us from Kentucky. And real quick, Congressman, we are seeing energy or oil prices pull back in the last month, and that certainly is helping the inflation story. So your colleagues on the left feel no problem spending more money. You've got the House voting on the Inflation Reduction Act tomorrow. Are you going to, how will you vote rather? Excuse me, and do you believe that this bill ultimately will stoke inflation as opposed to continuing to pressure it down?
I'm a strong no on this vote tomorrow. This is ridiculous, unnecessary spending. When the government spends more money unnecessarily, it's going to lead to more inflation. 8% is still a lot of inflation. It's better than 10%, but let this bill start funneling more unnecessary government money into the economy. Inflation will again rise. Plus, the Green New Deal aspects of this bill will take energy prices back up. One reason energy prices are down is because the demand is down, because the economy is slowing, because we're in a recession. So this bill is going to do the opposite of what the Democrats are advertising. It's a bad bill, and I'm going to proudly vote no on this bill.
Do you think it passes regardless? They have the support. They're in the majority.
One thing I'll say about Nancy Pelosi, I disagree with everything that she does, everything that she stands for. But somehow, Maria, she gets her members to vote for bills, even when they know they're walking the plank. Even those members in purple districts that are down in the polls, she somehow gets them to vote with her. So unfortunately, it's probably going to pass tomorrow.
All right, Congressman, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much, Congressman.